Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Room Liberty, and with me is...
Boaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff to talk about. We got Nier Automata news. We got Mirror's Edge Social Play. We got Guile joining the fray in Street Fighter V. We got Mafia 3 details and release date. We got WoW Legion release date. We got Metroid Prime Federation Force release date. And the new Supergiant game, Pyre. But let's talk about what we played this week. So, naturally, played more Dark Souls 3. Big surprise. I did end up beating it. So,
Ooh, already.
I will admit, it was mostly because I was like, I wanted to beat it, and I knew that if I would be walking around, like, finding, like... Because the one thing that always makes some of the Souls games a little bit longer is trying to find where you need to progress.
Oh, okay.
It's not that big of a deal, but I was like, I just want to know where I need to go next to fight the bosses. So I ended up, and also co-oping with Alex also helped me a lot.
Oh yeah, Alex got the crave.
But I ended up beating the game, and it was pretty good. But I'm definitely gonna be playing it through a second time because there's a lot of stuff that I missed.
Oh, okay.
And even with some of the guides, I was surprised that I missed like an entire area, like an entire bonus area. I completely missed. And that's what I always liked about the. This was something that you didn't get in Bloodborne, is that there's a lot of secret areas in Dark Souls 3, so it's always kind of cool to discover them.
Okay.
Whereas in Bloodborne, there is only really the one secret area. Or maybe two, but not as many as in Dark Souls 3. So yeah, I played a lot of that.
You mean like places like Cainhurst Castle?
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of fun. I've been playing that. We were having some fun with the trying to connect. One of the things that they have been trying to fix and has been a problem recently is that the passwording system that allows you to co-op with friends is a little bit finicky. So sometimes you have to go back to your main area and go back to the bonfire and try and reset the password. It's a little bit annoying, but it mostly has to do with the fact that there's so many people online at the moment. But overall, it's not as game breaking. It's not game breaking. It's not like the game itself is broken. I did end up finding one area though that made me laugh. I had a situation where I was walking through a swamp and somebody left some notes near this wall, and it said illusionary wall ahead. And I was like, oh cool, this is like a secret area. So I whacked my sword, and I was like, oh, that's weird. My sword is just clipping through the wall. That's odd. And then I just literally moved my character through the wall. And then I was outside of the world. And I was just, it was great. It was great. So everybody was just, hey, dude, look at this spot where they forgot to fix. So I was just walking around looking at the bottom of trees and the empty void. Oh, it was great. It was great. They've probably patched it by now, but it was really funny when I found that.
Yeah, I really do like the social aspects of the Souls games. Well, I mean, obviously, when I say Souls games, I'm referring to Bloodborne, the only one I've ever played. But because there was one time I was doing a Chalice dungeon. Now, you know, in some of the Chalice dungeons, there are invisible walls, right?
Yes.
That you can hit. So I'm walking through the dungeon and I see this wall, right? And to be fair, I was gonna consider hitting it anyway. But then I see a dude's ghost walk through the wall. And I'm like, gosh, I wonder if there's a secret behind here. And this other one I saw recently, it was Dark Souls. It was like the Twitter page of IGN. They made this post where they were walking towards this chest, right? Yeah. And then they see a little blood stain. So they click on the blood stain to see how the person died. And you see the person, he walks up to the chest and he opens it and then he dies.
Yes.
And dude is like, well, I guess I'm not touching this chest.
Yeah. it's actually I will admit playing online it makes the experience so much more interesting because you get messages from the community, you can summon people, and you can also get invaded, which is
Yes.
something that I don't think happened a whole lot in Bloodborne, but happens a whole lot more in Dark Souls, and it's always kind of fun to like someone's invading your world and you set up a trap for them. My favorite moment so far is that somebody invaded my world, and there's a item in the game called a white branch, which essentially, if you use it, you turn into a random object in the area, and you can use it to kind of hide yourself, right?
Yeah.
So I just decided I'm gonna troll this guy really hard. So I used it and I turned into a statue. So I moved myself into the perfect spot, and I just sit there and I didn't move. So the guy was walking around the level trying to find me, and he walked by me about 3 times.
Oh my
And
God.
it was so great. And then finally he just gave up and left, and I was just like, ha ha ha, you couldn't find me.
That's funny. One last thing I want to say about the online thing, because there was just one moment that actually had me dying of laughter. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
doing the and I know I feel bad doing this because I know this isn't necessarily Dark Souls, but I just really like the way From Software handled their online in general, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing the DLC of Bloodborne, and I'm in this cave that has two of those
Oh, the party cave.
no, those those monsters, the ones with the big heads,
Oh, okay.
that cause frenzy on Eye of Sight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I'm sitting behind this rock, and I'm trying to plan I'm trying to design my plan of attack, and I see this dude's ghost walk past me, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what's this dude doing? Doesn't he realize that there's like a bunch of them in there? And he just runs in all gun ho. And then I just see like a little tombstone pop up, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. What did you think? What did you think was going to happen?
That's amazing. Just instant like tombstone or bloodstain just
Yeah,
appears.
like, dude. But okay, I'm liking all the stuff I'm hearing about Dark Souls 3. I mean, truth be told, I'm probably gonna get it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in like September or like in the fall time when the DLC comes out and they probably have like a little bundle or it goes on sale. I might pick it up.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, but cool stuff. That's essentially what I've been playing this week. What about you, Fawaz?
Oh, I played a little bit of the Doom beta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got into the Doom beta, so I gave that a try. It takes some getting used to. It's very
Mm-hmm.
different. It's
Yeah.
very different. There's no. I remember how I said there's no reloading. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how weird that feels. Literally after every shot. Okay, like the shotgun
Because
has to
it's
reload.
muscle memory. It's muscle memory at this
It's
point.
muscle memory. I shoot, and then I hit square. Right? I just
Yeah.
automatically hit square whenever I finish shooting. But there was no reloading in the game. The only weapon that reloaded was the super shotgun,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like an automatic reload because it has. I think it was one or maybe two shots in it, but probably one shot. After every
Right.
shot, you have to reload. It was also really fast paced. You know, you're just circle strafing and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's oh my god, I cannot stress how fast paced the game is.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, the beta was it was lacking in features. I mean, which is a weird thing to say because it is a beta.
It is a
Part
beta.
of it was that I was playing the beta around the same time the Battleborn beta was happening,
Mm-hmm.
and but the Battleborn beta had so much in terms of features, whereas this was kind of bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
One really cool thing is that you have different at the end of every match. There's like a what's that thing called? It shows the person with the first, second, and third in terms of points, and
Yeah.
then while it's showing you guys, y'all can you can do it because you have your emotes on
Oh
your D-pad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can do a little dance. So it's like the first dance you have unlocked is the Carlton. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty funny. One thing there's also and it's one thing that has caused a lot of controversy is the inclusion of loadouts, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of Doom fans were upset about that, understandably so, because you can just create your loadouts and it because like every single loadout had the shotgun in it because the shotgun was just so damn good.
Yeah.
So because part of one of the cool things about Doom was fighting because when you put power weapons on the maps it creates areas that people come together and duke it out
Yeah.
over over the power weapons, which that just doesn't happen anymore because of the loadouts. However, to kind of offset that, there are pickups on the map. So there's a quad damage, and then there's the demon transformation. And the demon transformation is really, really powerful. Like literally, my first game, I died. I spawned right next to the demon transformation. I picked it up and I got like 5 kills straight up
Nice.
because it one shots people, right?
Right.
It's like I'll be honest, it felt a little too powerful, but it's a little early, so we don't know yet. But it felt really, really powerful. The one downside is that if you die, the other team can pick you drop it, so the other team can pick it up, and then they get that they get that power up.
Of the demon.
Yeah, the demon. No regenerating health. That also takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
So it's overall it seems the game is really going to reward map knowledge down the line.
Yeah.
Because you want to know where all the health is, where all the ammo is, and where all the power ups are. But all in all, I will say that I'm probably not going to buy the game.
Oh, yeah?
And a number of reasons. One is that it's launching in May. And, I enjoyed the Battleborn beta a lot more than I enjoyed the Doom beta. When I was playing I didn't play the Doom beta as much as I wanted to because I'd be playing the beta and I'd be like, gosh, I wish I was playing Battleborn right now.
Which sounds very odd. And considering this podcast,
considering our sordid history in regards to Battleborn, yeah. But I was playing the Doom beta, and the whole time I was like, man, I really wish I was playing the Battleborn beta right now. So at this point, I'm pretty certain I'm not going to be buying Doom, and that's to say nothing of their season pass. And,
that shenanigans.
And how little I like. And how little I think of their season pass. But overall, it seemed cool. It seemed fun. The PC people, I don't think the PC people are going to like it. This is the weird thing about the Doom game, right? I feel like it's going to be too Doom. It might be too Doom for newer players, but it won't be Doom enough for the old players. So I don't know, man. If this game doesn't do well, like it's software. Their last game was Rage, which was a certifiable flop. So if Doom doesn't do well, I don't know, man. Maybe
I'm gonna assume that this game will do better because the name itself carries a little bit more.
It carries
a little bit more weight.
But it also carries baggage.
Yeah, I am aware of that, but I have a feeling like the biggest problem is that Rage was a flop because it was just like. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Whereas there seems like there's a lot more interesting stuff in it already.
You know what? You're right. And like I said, the beta was fun. I did have fun in the beta. It's just
unfortunate that this game's coming out in May.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Battleborn, I'm probably not going to end up buying, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But if I was buying one of Doom or Battleborn, I'd pick Battleborn.
Wait. I got a question then. What is the game that you're going to be buying in May then?
Okay, so this is my plan right now, just for.
Okay. Here we go. Let's dig into it.
So I'm going to buy Alienation next week, right?
Okay.
That's coming out at the end of April, and I'm thinking about buying Invisible Ink. I have it in my cart. I just haven't hit the commit button yet. So I'm thinking about buying Invisible Ink and Alienation. So then those will be my 2 games at the end of April and into the start of May. Right? Then mid-May, I'm probably going to get Valkyria Chronicles.
Okay.
And at the end of May, I'll get Overwatch. That's what my plan is looking like now.
All right. Good plan. Because I'm definitely picking up Overwatch for sure. I honestly I've been debating whether or not I want to pick up Invisible Ink, but I'm also kind of like, you know what? I'm probably going to be playing Dark Souls, and there's probably some other games that I may want to play as well. So maybe I'll pick it up later when it's on sale.
Yeah, makes sense. Or when it's free with the instant game collection.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, like that would be a pretty good game.
So I'm probably not gonna get it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some news. So we got some new Nier Automata gameplay footage, it was pretty cool. Once again, love. I actually really like the aesthetic of this game. Like the
Yeah, same here.
steampunk look to it is pretty cool. And of course, Platinum Games, just nailing it with that with those crazy action.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't actually notice when we watched the announcements trailer
Hmm.
is that you have this little robot,
Hmm.
and it fires. I'm gonna assume that it's gonna have like more upgrades and shit like that you can get. But as of
Yeah.
right now, it looks like it's good for two things. One is you can hold on to it and I don't know if it allows you to fly or just hover or just like glide, but it's probably going to allow for traversal. And then
Hmm.
the other thing is it fires off like a little projectile thing that probably works the same way Dante and Bayonetta's guns work, in that it doesn't do a whole lot of damage but keeps your combo counter going.
Yeah. I see
But
what you mean.
yeah, but overall, man, the game, like, first of all, graphically, the game looks amazing.
Hmm.
I completely agree with you. I love the steampunk as aesthetic.
Hmm.
It looks so smooth. Like, that's the only word I can think of when I look at it. It's just
Yeah.
smooth. It looks really smooth. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't show us more like actual gameplay, because it was like he'd pause the game and he'd use the code to bring up some crap on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping they would show like actual like sections from the game to show us off the some of the set pieces, shit like that.
Exactly.
But
I thought it was funny, like just the random bursts of like laughter and cheering for stuff that just seemed very like okay. Because I didn't because it was all in Japanese, right? So and I couldn't understand what they were saying, but when they cheered for him shooting down the bridge, I was like,
okay.
"Yay!"
Yeah, like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, man, I wish I understood Japanese, because I feel like I'm missing something here.
Missing
This
some
this isn't
grade
that
A
fun.
material. He probably made an amazing joke about that bridge, and it just got the crowd roaring with
He's
laughter.
like, he's like, hey guys, I guess we're gonna burn some bridges here,
Oh, oh God.
But overall, though, like, I'm really excited to finally be seeing more of this game, because I mean, this game was announced at E3. Actually, yeah, it was announced at
Yeah,
E3, and we didn't hear,
a
we
whole
haven't
lot.
heard too much since. We saw a really cool gameplay trailer at the Paris Game Show, I think, and not a whole lot since. So I'm glad to see it's coming along, because I really hope this game makes its 2016 release
Release date.
release date.
Mm-hmm.
It's been far too long. I haven't played a platinum game in far too long. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, for sure. But just an interesting thing to point out is, do you think we're in a JRPG renaissance right now at the moment?
I
Like this?
actually do. I
Yeah.
actually do, because when you think about it, you've got this, which is more of an action game, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. But let's
Yeah.
let's just call it a JRPG. But this, whatever. Scratch this.
It's
Forget about this.
JRPG with action in it.
Yeah. But you know what? Forget about this game. We've got Nino Kuni coming out. We've got
Mm.
Final Fantasy 15 finally getting released. We've got Kingdom Hearts 3
3.
finally getting
Oh yeah.
released. We've got The Last Guardian. We've got newer IPs like this. We've got Neo, which is supposed to be dropping this year, and then we've got the ever elusive Persona 5, right? And that's
Yeah.
just like this year and next year. There's
Yeah.
still, like, and I'm sure, like, this is off the top of my head too. I'm sure there's a bunch of games I
Oh,
forgot.
the Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei as well.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got Fire, and yeah, this is I only listed the games that were on the PlayStation, right? Forget
Yeah.
the DS, forget the Wii U.
Mm.
I mean Xbox 360. The Xbox One is the Xbox One, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah.
even on the Xbox One, you've got Scalebound, which looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, like, and what I love about it is that it's a wide variety.
Yes.
It's not just a bunch of turn-based RPGs with androgynous lead characters that wear far too many belts. You've got Neo, which is like a really dark grounded RPG
feudal
type game.
Japan, very inspired kind of, JRPG and whatnot.
Yeah,
The one thing I will say that I like about this is that, yeah, that was the one thing that always turned me off about JRPGs, and that was what kind of got me back in the recent years. Is that for the longest time I was like, okay, JRPG, it has to be, turn based, right?
yeah,
And I wasn't the biggest fan of turn-based because I know that some of them are better than others. Some of them can feel like a really big grind and you're
yeah,
just like waiting for people to hit each other. And I wasn't really a big fan of that kind of gameplay. So when I started exploring other JRPGs and finding, oh, there's games like, Fire Emblem or Valkyria Chronicles and stuff like that, like it really opened up the valley of JRPGs. And even Persona, which still has some turn-based combat in it, there's just so much more in that game that makes it so super interesting. So I think it also just I think the reason why we're at a renaissance right now is just because people are maybe craving more creative and different games.
yeah.
And I always like to point out, like, I feel like Shooter Season 2011 really really got a lot of people bummed out. So
Yeah, yeah, that's actually a good point. Is that we've also moved away from the over reliance on just military shooters
yeah.
to sell consoles, because you look at you can Microsoft's big game for this year was supposed to be Scalebound. It got pushed to 2017. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you had Scalebound, you had Halo Wars, which is an RTS,
Right.
and sure you had Gears of War, but there was a nice little balance there. They look at Sony. They have what's this game called? Horizon.
Yep.
They've which has one of the most unique aesthetics of any game right now.
Yeah.
They got Horizon. They got Persona 5, which is
Yeah.
really unique in itself. They've got, so yeah, I do feel. I mean, Nino Kuni, which is like a Studio Ghibli movie come to life,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Ghibli, however you pronounce that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely feel like this is I'm happy right now. I feel it's I'm getting that feeling I got in the PS2 era,
Mm-hmm.
where there was like a lot of different types of games. Like it was just games. It wasn't just shooters or just open world games. Because we also like people shot on Shooter Season 2011, but open world game season. But I actually think we've had a lot more open world games that are just like
Not
cookie cutter
great.
versions of each other.
Yeah,
That because
that
you
was when I think of the biggest like the repeats. It's I always think of FPS, like military shooter or the open world game that is just too similar to like every other open world game.
yeah, yeah,
And
because you had Watch Dogs, you had oh, shit, you had Watch Dogs, you had the Assassin's Creed games, you have Mad Max, which was pretty much a copycat of Shadow of Mordor, which was also a copycat of Batman. Like you
yeah, yeah, and
see,
it just continues like that. Yeah, I honestly I think what bummed me out, I think with open world was when the Assassin's Creed games were becoming like so annual,
yeah,
and then it was like, wow, we're getting an open world game every year.
yeah.
Yay! Like, even though like I like to criticize sometimes of like some of the choices of Rockstar games, at the very least they take their time to
They
make their
take their
open world
sweet time
games.
to make their open world games. So
So
yeah, man, it definitely feels like gaming as a whole is moving in a very good direction. I mean, like we spoke about the shift in DLC, and now we're also seeing a shift in like just the overall types of games. So
oh yeah,
I feel like we're recovering from some of the less desirable aspects of last generation, and
yeah.
hopefully things keep moving forward. One last thing I want to say about Nier that I actually didn't touch on.
All right.
Um, there, they didn't say anything about this, and if they did, I don't speak my Japanese isn't very. I don't speak Japanese, but there might be co-op in the game because
Yeah, there are two people.
Yeah, the gameplay video featured two people, and later on in the gameplay video, I didn't notice this at first because I left the video the first. Later on in the gameplay video, they actually switched control and they started controlling the very androgynous boy.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, that would be interesting. I
yeah.
always wanted Bayonetta to have. I was hoping Bayonetta 2 would have some kind of co-op
Bayonetta 2 does
element
have
to it.
co-op in it.
Sorry.
Bayonetta 2 does have a co-op element in it.
Okay, well there you go. The groundwork has already been laid. So yeah, hopefully Nier
Yeah.
Automata might follow in Bayonetta 2's footsteps and give us some
Yeah.
co-op.
Oh, Bayonetta 2 is so great. Oh.
You know what? Screw you, Tanner. Moving on. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. EA released a pretty cool trailer showing the social elements of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. One thing I want to say really, really quickly is that I really hate it when developers shoehorn multiplayer into games like they did like EA did with
Yeah,
Dead Space.
Dead Space is always the one that makes me go, oh, they really didn't need to put multiplayer in that game.
So yeah, it always makes me happy when I see a developer finding a very organic way of adding multiplayer to the game,
Yeah.
like Mirror's Edge. Like it feels natural. It feels like what multiplayer should feel like in a Mirror's Edge game. To go through some of the details, it's time trials. But unlike in the original Mirror's Edge, where they had a set of time trials that the developers created, what they're going to do in this game is that they let the players create their own time trial. So you go to a spot, you do a quick run from one spot, you pick your starting point, your ending point, and then you make a really good time and you post it online and see if other people can beat it, which I think is really cool. It's really organic, and hats off to the developers for doing that. One thing though is that hopefully because one issue with the original Mirror's Edge was that there were a lot of exploits that people used to get really good times.
Yeah.
So hopefully they keep a watchful eye on any potential exploits and they patch them out ASAP, because shit like that really just, I mean, it kills any.
I completely agree with you. One thing that they did say that really got me like, okay, good, is that you can not only do you can make like, you know, custom time trials in the game that other people can make, you can also put checkpoints in those. So to counteract those exploits, you can essentially say like you have to hit this particular checkpoint or something like that.
Okay.
So that's actually a pretty good solution. You can just if you want to just have, okay, who can get there the fastest, use your exploits and go nuts, right? But if you want a more like specific, you know, be skilled and hit these points, then you can do that. The only thing that concerns me is that in the trailer they were talking about, you know, use the app, use the website, and I was like, oh no, no. That means EA means Origin, and boy, does Origin make my skin crawl.
Oh my god! I was actually approaching this from a different angle. Do you remember three or four E3s ago when every single game had a second screen experience?
Oh god!
Where it was like, oh, you know, use your iPad to control this. Oh, you could use your cell phone to do this. Oh, you know, you could use the camera to. It was so ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. It was funny because it was the exact same thing where people were trying to copy Nintendo. Because it was like Nintendo came out with the Wii, and then it was like, we've got the Kinect, we've got the PlayStation Move. And then Nintendo comes out with the Wii U with the tablet, and then immediately they're going like, you can use your iPad, you can use your tablet. Like,
yeah, because I remember it was with Watch Dogs had a second screen experience that I don't think actually made it into the final game. And The Division had a second screen experience that I'm sure didn't make it into the final game.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure.
So yeah, when I heard them talking about, oh yeah, you know, you can use our companion app or our website, I was like, man, remember all that crap from back in the day. However, I do think companion apps can be a force for good. It's just that EA hasn't handled them very well. For example, there was this app that someone created for Fallout 4 before the game was coming out that allowed you to create your character, to spec them out before the game started, so you could just start playing the game. However, it wasn't a native app, so it wasn't Bethesda didn't commission it, so it didn't like carry over into the game. But it was a really cool idea
Yeah.
because I feel like with the Elder Scrolls 6, for example, if they released an app, they released an app like two weeks before the game comes out, where you can build your character, pick their race, pick all that stuff, so that
Yeah.
when you start playing the game, you can just get into the game. Sorry, you can just get into the game and
Yeah.
just like get in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very unintrusive way of creating a companion app. But
Hmm.
yeah, when they did say companion app, the red flags just started going off, and I was like,
Yeah. Oh
oh
boy. Oh boy. Well, it'll be interesting to see when the game finally comes out. But yeah, definitely excited for Mirror's
no.
Edge.
Yeah, yeah.
Next on our list, Guile is joining the fray, and he looks pretty cool. And I was really damn happy, that they had the theme playing on that stage. Like they had to. They had to.
They can't change they can't change any of the Street Fighter 2 characters' themes. All of them are far too iconic at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
But yeah, like Guile looks pretty interesting. The funny thing is that because when they announced Vega, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you look at Vega and he's nothing like his ST counterpart, right?
Yeah.
Or his Street Fighter 4 counterpart. He's a completely different character. Guile looks like Guile. I wasn't sure what direction they were going to go with Guile, if they were going to make him Guile in SF5, or they're just going to go the Vega route and turn him into a completely different character. And he has like Guile normals. He's the only character in the game that's fully charged. So Sonic
Yeah.
Boom is still a charge motion, Flash Kick still a charge motion, and his Super is a charge motion. So he's the first full on charge character in the entire
Okay.
game.
Interesting.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool. I'm really heartbroken that they took out because he had this one taunt in Street Fighter 4 where he could put on and take off the shades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they took that out, and I'm so heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken.
I found it weird though that his outfit was a bit weird. Because I'm so used to the army getup, right?
Yeah, I think that's an alternate costume. I don't know if it's a story costume or it's probably his story costume.
Probably.
He still has that costume, but yeah, they also wanted to give him a little bit of an updated look, so they gave him the I don't even know what to call that thing. Oh, some other things about his gameplay. He has a crouch walk now, which looks absolutely ridiculous. It looks so silly. One of my friends actually he made a joke about it. That it looks like like someone is trying to like creep up on you, but you can see them, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? Because he's just walking up. But the funny thing about it is that because the input is down and forward, so he can maintain his charge for Flash Kick while he's doing it, as shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he cannot maintain his charge for Sonic Boom, or that would have been like completely broken. His V skill is a charge ball that he places on the screen, and he shoots Sonic Booms through it. I'm guessing it gives the Sonic Booms more durability, and if they on hit or block, it builds up his V trigger. His V trigger, which then allows him to fire off a volley of Sonic Booms. Overall, Guile looks pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how he's going to fit in Street Fighter. He's got a decent walk speed, and he's always had very good normals.
Yeah.
So one really popular thing in competitive Street Fighter 5 is what's called the shimmy, right? So what people do is that they walk towards you to make it look like they're about to throw you, and then like right as you're about to tech, they back off, right? So you whiff a throw, and then whiffing a throw puts you in a counter hit state. So they back off and they hit you with a heavy, which then causes a counter hit and gives you a nice juicy combo, right? So with Guile's solid walk speed and decent normals, he might be able to do some really cool stuff in regards to shimmies, and he might have some solid pressure in that regard. But time will tell. He's supposed to be launching late this month, but it's Capcom, so that probably means he's going to launch sometime in July. Also, his stage is going to be available for sale. You can buy it with 70,000 fight money, but quite frankly, I couldn't give three shits about a brand new stage, especially since this isn't MKX, where the stages are Injustice, where the stages have interactables.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is just going to pick training stage anyway, so yeah, I don't really care. Oh, one other thing is that
why would everyone only take training stage? Like,
say what?
Why would only everyone pick training stage? Is it
Oh,
just
because there's fewer distractions in the background, and
oh, well,
it's
that's lame.
yeah, certain stages kill the frame rate. Certain stages slow the game down. So like a lot of okay, maybe not training stage, but what happens with a lot of competitive fighting games is that there's like two stages that people just settle on. Like you Marvel vs. Capcom 3, for example, training stage and Bond Wonderland. Those were the if you watch any footage, any competitive footage of Marvel 3, those are like the only stages you will ever see. The certain stages I completely forgot were even in the game, like Shield Helicarrier and
Yeah.
Valhalla. So yeah, like new stages don't really matter that much to me. One other thing of note is that because Capcom still haven't gotten the store running, Gal is gonna be free when he launches. So yeah, you can try him out for free. Alex
Yeah,
is still free.
yeah. Alex is still free. When I booted up Street Fighter, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I got because I tried him out. I did his single player thing, and I got the fight money right away. So that's actually kind of an interesting way to like. All right.
Alex's story. You can do his story.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna hurry up and do that before.
Yeah, because it's like you can do his story, get the fight money, and get some extra fight money so that you can actually unlock him.
Yeah.
I just did it. I just did it for the fight money because I'm waiting for a character that I'm waiting for Jury because I'm gonna be unlocking her for sure. Either that or I'm just gonna like when the store does actually start to function, I may just
Don't do it, Tanner.
Yeah, like I know. These are wishful thinkings, but hey, the last Guardian got announced. Who knows? Maybe Capcom can fix the store.
No. I'm saying don't do it. Don't give them any more of
Don't
money.
give any
they
more
don't
money.
deserve it, rat bastards. Anyway, sorry. I was trying to go this podcast without shitting on Capcom, but obviously,
you were doing good for a while. We were all positive about Guile and his theme. But you disappointed me. You just.
I'm sorry. So
so
yeah,
let's talk about some Mafia. Let's talk about Mafia 3 details.
Let's talk about Mafia 3 details. So they released a really cool story trailer talking about how this dude, who is a Vietnam War veteran, he comes back home and he's double crossed by the Mafia. Mm-hmm. So he gets up and he tries to get revenge on them. And overall, it's a pretty by the numbers plot. But the game itself looks interesting. When it was announced, people were excited at the original story trailer. Then they saw a little bit of gameplay and they got really upset because the game looked very arcadey, and the Mafia games are more slow paced and all that good stuff. So what's this thing called? This gameplay trailer came out and the impressions have been a lot more positive. I'm not entirely sure why, because it still looks as arcadey as it was back in the day. Maybe it's just
some of it looks arcadey, but at least in the trailer, some of it isn't as framed as arcadey as it was. I will say this: I really like the soundtrack to this trailer. Like, it's a really good song to use in this kind of setting. So I really like that as well. I think it was just overall like a better trailer than just the basic gameplay stuff.
Yeah. They and in regards to the music, because it's that Vietnam period. There's a lot of I think the first trailer had All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always.
I know the cinematic trailer had House of the Rising Sun, which is also a classic. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, but in terms of gameplay, sorry, because they also released some gameplay details. Oh wait, before I forget, they announced the release dates. Let's take it one step at a time. So they give us a release date for the game. It's launching October 7th. So we have some. So our fall is starting to take a little bit of shape. So there's that. Then they announced some gameplay details. You're gonna have your lieutenants. I can't remember the 4 names. But each lieutenant offers you different abilities. For example, there's one lieutenant, I forget her name, like I've already said. But in the middle of a mission, you can call her up, and what she does is she'll cut off some phone lines so that the people can't radio for backup. There's another lieutenant who actually lets you come in with backup to the mission, and there's going to be cool stuff like that each lieutenant offers. You can also you also balance their loyalties. So apparently, if you show one lieutenant a little too much favor, for example, one of them is this chick with a big afro and a bigger ass. So obviously, I'm going to show her all the favor. And
Uh,
if you show one, yo, hey, I am who I am, Tanner, and I wear it proudly.
yeah, I can't fault you for being honest.
um, so, I'm obviously going to show out all the favor if I end up
Yeah.
picking this game up. So my other lieutenants, who are just a bunch of middle-aged men, are probably not going to like that very much. In regards to this loyalty system, I'll believe it when I see it. Because games have been promising me this thing for decades now, actually, and very few people have been able to pull it off successfully. But hey, add Mafia 3 to another list to another game that's trying to tackle this whole loyalty system and how it actually affects gameplay. And apparently, the choices you make in the game affect gameplay. They won't. But
Well, we'll see. Like, I always when I think of the loyalty system, I always think of like Mass Effect 2 in particular, because Mass Effect 2's loyalty system has a big effect on the. You know how you said that there's certain amount of choices that affected the ending of Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 has something very similar, that the loyalty of the characters really affects how the ending goes in Mass Effect 2. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Sorry, one last thing. Oh, sorry, were you passing off this game?
No, you can
Okay.
go.
So one last thing about the game is that it looks like one of the first video games that's going to tackle the issue of race, because off the top of my head, I can't think of too many video games that
I think the BioShock Infinite kind of tackled it, but because I played the game, right? But it didn't it wasn't like a main focus of the game. So
no, it was a side thing.
It was a side thing. Yeah.
But yeah, because this game, it's set in a fictional version of New Orleans right after the Vietnam War, and you can see from the trailers there's there's a little bit of police brutality in there and segregation and all that fun stuff. So it looks like this game might be one of the first video games that actually heavily tackles this issue, which will be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So hats off to them if they actually go through with it, and we're gonna keep an eye on Mafia 3.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's something that we're not going to be keeping an eye out for. The WoW Legion expansion just got a release date, and it's announced for August 30th. Cool, I guess.
The funniest part about this announcement was I saw it and I was like, wait a minute, I thought this was out already. I genuinely thought this had already come out. So
I didn't think it was out, but I just it just kind of was like, I guess it'll come out eventually, I guess. Because only thing I remember was seeing the cinematic trailer, and that was really about it.
Yeah, because I guess that's probably why I thought it was out, because the cinematic trailers usually come out when the game comes out. So I said cinematic trailer, but August 30th. For those who don't know, the game is going to add a new hero class, the Demon Hunter. So now we can all look like Illidan. It's going to add artifact weapons, which are going to be like very specific weapons out of lore. So for example, Doomhammer, Lights Justice. No, Ashbringer. There we go. Ashbringer. All those really cool, for all you WoW lore nerds like me, there's going to be cool weapons that you can pick up. There's going to be a new area, the Broken Isles. I feel like I should know the lore behind this area, but I don't.
I'm disappointed for Waz. Come on, you're the lore guy.
It's gonna give you the ability to boost to level 100, which makes perfect sense, because we're talking about a 12-year-old video game here. They can't expect you to start grinding like some of the other people. There's gonna be class halls where you can hang out with people of your class. That's pretty cool. Overall, it's more WoW, and I honestly, personally speaking, I feel like just give us Warcraft 4.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Just give us Warcraft 4. WoW's great, but I think its time has come.
Yeah, the time was yeah. I mean, for it was we had 10 really. I'd say we had about 5 really good years, and then a couple of other years that were eh. But like seriously, this game has been going strong since 2004. It's a pop culture icon. It had a good run, and we're not even saying we you should shut down the servers, but come on, give me a Warcraft 4. I would honestly build a gaming computer for Warcraft 4. Straight up. I'm not even kidding. The day
uh,
Warcraft 4 comes out is the last day that I will not own a gaming computer.
yeah, that will be interesting. I would love to see that. But let's talk about the next thing. So Metroid Prime Federation Force it does get a release date. It's August 19th as well. So more games in August.
Yeah, more games in
Um,
August, more games we don't care about. September 2nd for Europe, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly, like they also talked about some of the quotes that some of the development team or some of the heads, I guess, were saying about the game, and some
Yeah,
of them I'm glad at the very least, like some of them were pointing out. Yes, we are aware that there are a lot of fans who are not exactly happy with the way that this game is shaped. Like at least they're
yeah,
not completely blind to the criticism. Because I've
yeah.
seen developers just completely deny it. Like, the people like the game. I don't know what you're
I don't
talking
know
about.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. So, at least they're admitting that they are aware of the criticism. And the one thing that I will agree with them is that yes, and we have pointed this out, is that not being able to get your hands on the game is really affecting people's opinions on it because a lot of people who have played the game they're saying that as a video game it works pretty well and is fun. Like, but the problem is like we've said before, is that having Metroid Prime in the title is hurting the game so much. You know what? Even if they took out Prime out of the title, it would help. Like just having a game
Yeah,
called Metroid Federation Force would
yeah.
would make things so much better. And it sucks because it's like one word just makes a big damn difference. And
For me, I'm like that. If they had announced, another Metroid, if they'd announced a full-fledged sequel, like a full-blown Wii U or
or like a
NX,
teaser, even a teaser. Like
yeah, a teaser. If they had announced this game, they're like, this game is coming, but oh, by the way, there's also this Metroid game, which is gonna be like this is a spin-off, but then it's gonna be like a main Metroid game. I don't think people would have been mad. Yeah, it was just that okay, we haven't had a full-fledged Metroid game in so long because the last one we had before this was Other M, and the less said about that game, the better.
yeah.
And then we bounce, we come back from Other M, and they're like, oh, okay, 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 we're sorry, we dropped the ball with Other M. Here's your reward, guys, Federation Force. And it's like, like even if this game is good,
It's really
it
fighting an uphill battle. That's for damn
yeah, it's
sure.
fighting an uphill battle. And then there's the other issue that when I go to specific franchises for specific experiences, like I go to Street Fighter because I want a one-on-one fighting game. If Capcom came out and announced a Street Fighter game a Street Fighter spin-off that was like okay, if Capcom did not release a Street Fighter game for a very long time and then they announced a Street Fighter game that was like an action game a la Ninja Gaiden, even if the game was awesome, there'll still be a bitter taste in my mouth because I'm like, yeah, but where am I going to get my fighting game fix from?
Yeah, basically, let's say Street Fighter 4 gets released, and it's a couple of years later, and instead of announcing Street Fighter 5, they announce the Street Fighter MMO or something like
Yeah,
that, right? It's
yeah,
like, and it would be the best damn MMO in the world, but you're still like, why the fuck do we not have Street Fighter 5? So,
yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
it's funny because to use that example, a developer that did a really good job with that was Team Ninja. They had Dead or Alive. They had Dead or Alive 1, they had Dead or Alive 2, and then they were like, oh, let's try this spin-off, Ninja Gaiden, featuring Ryu Hayabusa. That
Right.
came out, people loved that game, but then it wasn't like, there was Dead or Alive 3 for the people that wanted their fighting game fixed, and then you have Ninja Gaiden, which was a really cool spin-off. So
Right.
Nintendo really, really drops the ball on this one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a shame because I feel
it's a
like
real shame.
I feel like the game is actually going to be pretty good. It's just like a lot of people aren't going to give it a chance.
No, no.
But next on our list, something that does excite the hell out of me. So Super Giant just announced their new game Pyre, and it looks fucking good. It looks
It looks pretty.
so
It looks pretty
good.
cool. I can't lie.
I always love seeing the art styles in Supergiant games because they're just so beautiful and so polished. And of course, obviously hearing, Darren, who's in all of the Supergiant Games soundtrack, coming to life on the trailer was just like, I'm so excited. Oh, I like
Yeah.
I will say this that is interesting. I'm interested to see what kind of tone this game is going to have because it seems kind of different tonally from some of their other games, at least slightly. Because Transistor was like dark future, kind of dystopia.
Yeah.
Whereas this seems a little bit more, I guess, back to Bastion in a little way,
Okay.
at least tonally. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But what did you think of the trailer overall?
It's actually funny. Let me explain how my emotions went when this
Okay.
game was announced. So first of all, they announced new Supergiant game called Pyre. I'm like, I see new PlayStation 4 game. I'm excited, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've never finished any of Supergiant's games before. So then I'm like, oh, okay, my excitement kind of died down. Then I clicked the link, and it's like it's a party based game. I got excited, and I was like, oh wait, it's a single player party based game. Oh. But I actually watched the trailer and the game looks pretty cool. I can't lie. The game looks cool. The it sounds amazing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for me, I'll keep my eye on it because, like I said, it looks amazing. Like gameplay wise and graphically and art style wise, it just looks really good. But I'm not going to get my hopes up because I haven't finished Transistor or Bastion. I own
Yeah.
both of them, and I'm yet to finish either. So
Fair
yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
yeah,
Like,
maybe the games just aren't for me. We'll see. Part of the issue with both of those games for me was the abstract way they told their stories. So perhaps if this game comes out and it has more of a straightforward story, it'll be easier for me to get into it. The other thing was that with Bastion, I was actually really getting into Bastion, and then they were like, "Oh, there's a PS Vita version coming as well." So I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll wait for the Vita version because this seems like something that would be really cool to play on the bus." And then the Vita version took like a year to come out, and by that point, I just didn't care anymore. So
like, I find that kind of interesting that they have like the Supergiant games have a very abstract way of telling their stories, but I always actually really enjoyed it because um, they're very avoiding it will be interesting because it seems like they're trying more dialogue based stuff in this game because there's a scene where like you can see a character with like a little text field, right? So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I also kind of liked from the earlier games that it was a natural flow of how you were getting like little narration and little lore hints as you were playing the game because both games have like the narrator who's voiced by the same guy, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I always found that really interesting, and like the one like even in Bastion, there's a particular mode in the game in which it's a very odd way to give you lore details, but it's essentially like okay, you're in you go into like a sort of like a horde I guess horde mode area where you have to fight waves of enemies.
Yeah.
And the reward isn't exactly like, the reward is like experience and money, right? But the main reward is that every wave that you complete, the narrator gives you a little piece of detail about a character in the story.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't fighting those waves off to, get the money or the experience. I was fighting those waves off desperately to learn more about the characters because it was an interesting way to reward the player. But I'm super excited. Definitely going to be picking this up when it comes out. It's going to be a while though, because it's announced for 2017. So
yeah,
that's the one thing that always sucks though, is that whenever they announce, this is the same thing with Transistor. Whenever they announce their new game, it's always like a year from now when it's going to be out. And it's like, I want to play it now.
But I'm looking forward because the gameplay looks really weird. It looks kind of like they were scoring or some shit like that.
I don't know. It seems like a very different kind of take. Because like Bastion is probably Bastion is their one game that feels very like normal. Whereas Transistor was very different, and I really enjoyed it because it was different because it was an interesting kind of hybrid. But Bastion is usually the one, like when I tell people to try a Supergiant game, go to Bastion because it's the easiest one to pick up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely excited. So hopefully it comes out and it kicks ass. But let's go to our question of the day. So J Streets once again asked us, what feature slash design decisions do you think Nintendo's next console need to make in order for it to be competitive?
You want to take first swing at this?
I'll take first swing. Okay, honestly, there's a couple things. I'll say the first thing is very obvious. Less gimmicks. Like, just, I know gimmicks are your thing, but just try and make a normal console. Like, try, you know how you guys made the GameCube? You know, that didn't have any crazy gimmicks or any shenanigans like that? Like, try and go back to your roots and just make a console that does not have a weird gimmick like, the tablet or the motion controls. Because it's interesting for a while, but then we start to see the problems, as we've seen with both of these two gimmicks that Nintendo did.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you guys need to do is make it easy to develop for your system. Because the biggest thing that crippled the Wii U so much was the fact that it was so difficult for people to make games on, and like from a coding perspective, because of the second screen and the tablet, that it crippled how many games could come out for it. So there were very little games on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So those are the two big things that Nintendo needs to do. Just make the system easier to develop for and have a less gimmicky system. And because if the rumors are true and Zelda Wii U might end up on the NX, that's a good launch game to have. So
yeah.
I think that's my take on it. Well, what about you, Fawaz?
Okay, so mine it's okay. So the first thing is more power.
Yes.
Like when your system is weaker than the other two, it makes it such that you're either getting inferior ports or you're getting no ports at all, right? Like it doesn't matter how good the games on your console are, it's not going to make up for the fact that I can't play Skyrim on it, It's not going to make up for the fact that it's the only console I can't play The Witcher 3 on, I can't play Skyrim on, I can't play that's Overwatch on, it's you're hurting yourself. First of all, you're fighting that battle with like the exclusives, but then on top of that, like Microsoft and Sony automatically have exclusives because Nintendo's consoles for the past 2 generations have been so weak. Mm-hmm. So make it more powerful. Yeah. Now, also, sorry, you're about to say?
No. I was just agreeing with you. Keep going.
Better online. Like Nintendo, like, not everyone that exists online is a child predator. Okay. We don't all want to kidnap the little children that love your console so much. Some of us just want to communicate with our friends. Some of us just want to just want because here's the thing that I don't think Nintendo understands is that having a good online infrastructure only helps you. There's so many games that I bought just because I was in a party with a couple of my friends. They were playing the game and having a blast. And I'm like, yeah, well, screw you guys. I'm going to go out and get this game too. I'm not about to be the only one that gets left out. It's and then and this goes back to my first point. When your system is as powerful as the other games, then having a good online infrastructure makes people want to buy, convinces people to buy the multi-platform games for your console. Because, for example, let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? Let's say, what's that ink game with the Squid Girls?
Splatoon.
Yes, let's say Splatoon was multi-platform, just hypothetically speaking. Let's say Splatoon was across all 3 platforms. I would never have bought it for the Wii U, ever. I would never have bought it for the Wii U. I'd buy it for the PlayStation 4 first. I'd buy an Xbox One, and then buy it for the Xbox One second before I bought it for the Wii U, because I cannot chat with my friends in the game. If I meet really cool people online, adding them is a pain in the ass. It's just like the console is fighting against me. So like better online infrastructure. Yeah. And then the third thing I want to say, and it's gonna be weird to say this because like Nintendo's biggest strength has always been that they're unique. But I feel
Yes.
like in the past couple of years, the fact that they are so unique and they so want to blaze their own trail has come back and bit them in the ass. And this kind of just
Mm,
ties all my stuff together. Is that and I feel bad saying this. I don't want them to conform, but I don't want them to be so like don't conform, but at the same time don't fight, don't treat everything that's popular. Don't be such hipsters. Don't treat everything that's popular like it's the devil. Um, like some of the big things that have happened the past couple of years are positive. There
yeah.
are some positive elements to online. There are some positive elements to DLC, despite the fact that a lot of developers would like us to think otherwise.
Mm,
So I because like Nintendo, you have it's funny because and Nintendo are still living in the 90s as far as I'm concerned. Because um they they're still living in that realm where video games sell consoles, and it's not just the games that sell consoles anymore. It's the online infrastructure. It's
yeah.
the communities that are in those games that sell the consoles. Like Nintendo's fear of progress has bitten them in the ass numerous times. If Nintendo's fear of progress is what created the PlayStation, you know. It's why they released a GameCube that used those stupid discs. It's why they had the N64 using cartridges when the PlayStation was using
Was
was
using
using.
disc, yeah.
It's bitten them in the ass so many times. So like, stop fearing progress, Nintendo. Seriously, like, stop fearing.
The only thing,
Don't
yeah.
just blindly conform, but at the same time, don't just be afraid of everything. It's like, oh my God, it's progress. It's the devil. So
Like
yeah,
honestly, I want to see them try and do other things, but even if like here's a good example of how they could get around. Like let's say for example, like they don't want Splatoon to have like online chat. Like they don't want people like in the chat like just screaming obscenities and whatnot. Like
yeah,
at least give people the ability to do a party chat with their friends so that they can chat
exactly.
with their friends, but they don't have to chat with randos who they don't know and are probably gonna say stupid shit. The only thing that I have to disagree a little bit though is that even though I understand what you mean about like the system like Nintendo's like feeling a little bit in the past as far as like people buy consoles for more than just that, like they buy it for like online experiences and and other things, right?
Yeah.
I still kind of worry about that because that's not something I really like about this generation of games. And I understand a lot of people like that a lot, and they like the other aspects of the consoles. But I like the fact that I don't have to worry about if I got all my social updates and stuff like that.
I mean, that's not what I was
Well,
talking about.
but that's the only thing that I'm worried about is that
But
I'm worried about like Nintendo trying to do an Xbox One where it's like we have everything. Like
but
that's
I mean,
the thing that I'm worried about.
yeah, but that wasn't my point,
What
though. I
was
mean, I
what was
bought a PS4 because Jay Street bought a PS4. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I bought a PS4 because most of my Xbox 360 friends were buying PS4s. If
right?
these were Wii U's, that wouldn't actually matter, and I just bought the console that had the games that I wanted to play. I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day, like, most of the games that I mean, exclusives are good, but like, exclusives cost so much to make that most
Mm.
of the time you are going to be playing multi-platform games on your console.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I
so
understand that. Yeah.
so yeah, it really does come down to, for me anyway, it came down to which console were all my friends going to be getting, because I want to be able to chat with my friends. I want to be able to if like Call of Duty. Let's say I still bought Call of Duty. When the new Call of Duty comes out, I want to be able to play it with them. That is what I meant. Like, the
Okay. Yeah.
Facebook and all that stuff is irrelevant. It's cool. Like, it has some cool it has some cool stuff. Like, you can take videos and post them on Facebook and stuff like that. But no, that's not what I was referring to. I don't think anyone bought a PS4 because it had Facebook integration.
Yeah. The
But
one other
sorry, yeah.
no, I guess I'll keep going.
Oh yeah, and sorry, as this is just a pet peeve of mine, right? People, and this is just to go back to something you said before. People really need to cut this stereotype of, oh my God, online. If I go online, with my headphones in, it's just going to be people screaming obscenities at me. People really, really need to cut this stereotype out because it's actually it's a stereotype and it's not even true. Most of my friends I met by, I didn't meet these people. I
Like,
didn't meet these people in a pub.
yeah,
I
yeah,
met
yeah.
these people playing video games online with my microphone connected. I played Battleborn Beta for a week with my microphone connected the entire time. I mean, I met a lot of nice people during that time. I mean, sure, you have those people. You have those idiots that yell and curse and all that
Because
stuff.
that's the only thing, like.
But that's my point.
Because,
That
but
those
my
people are
problem,
the exception.
is like here's the perfect example with that is that like
Uh-huh.
I play occasionally Rainbow Six Siege, right?
Uh-huh.
And I put my mic on and I put all the little things up. Like I'm ready. Who's ready to talk? And I'll get 2 games of people who actually want to communicate and talk about the game. I'll get 3 games of people who are talking about, which pub they're gonna go to or who they've been banging recently. I get 5 games of people who are just like flat out just like screaming or saying really bad shit, and then I get like maybe one game where it's just nobody's, or maybe I'll get honestly the funny thing is that there'll be other games where like nobody's talking, like nobody at all, and I'll be the only one with a mic.
Yeah, that's the other thing, though, is that, yeah, a lot of the games I played in Battleborn, no one was even talking at all. So it's like, well, Nintendo, so you just took away the option for nothing. Because, like I said, I played 2, 3, maybe 3 years of Gears of War 2. And in those, I mean, first of all, Gears of War 2 had a very toxic community. Let's just keep it real. All the way 100%. And then that's the other thing is that different games foster different types of communities. And I'm pretty sure a game like Splatoon would not have a very toxic community.
That's an interesting point, yeah.
Yeah, like different games have different types of communities. People just like they generalize and they're like, oh, the internet is this. But like I mentioned before, Bloodborne had a very, very nice community. There was every single person that invaded my game, they would always bow. Like we'd start fighting, something would happen, and they would like there was ones who were fighting, some dude interfered in the fights, like a monster interfered in the fight, and the dude backed off, While I was fighting the monster, he didn't come up behind me and try to backstab me. He waited. Like Bloodborne had an amazing online community, Gears of War, on the other hand, did not. The community in Gears of War is extraordinarily toxic, So it also does come down to the community and shit like that. So yeah, but that's just a little pet peeve of mine. I'm going a bit of a digression.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah, but in general, man, Nintendo needs to get with the times. I think that's just the summary of
just try and do some new stuff. Honestly, just make the games easier to develop. Like that's the one thing that bothers me the most. Because it's like you made your console hard to develop for. Like, what?
Sony how that worked out for them.
Anyway, hopefully it all works out with the NX, and the Zelda Wii U does gangbusters. Who knows? But anyway, with that, we're gonna have to wrap things up. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you leave a comment in the comment section, make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this is your host, William Liberty, and
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
and we'll see you guys next time.